we gotta throw back up there. This is the most punishing disc golf hole I've ever seen in my entire life. Now let's go toss some plastic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we find ourselves at Muskegon River Bluffs in Newaygo, Michigan. This is a course that I have been eyeballing for quite a while, and today we're going to finally check it out. And hole 1 is absolutely terrifying. I'm sure you guys can't see much, but it's 281 feet, dead straight, tunnel shot, way downhill, and if you hyzer out, you're gonna be in a world of hurt. One of the toughest hole 1s I've ever stepped up to, but we are gonna give our Envy a nice light soft toss, hopefully stay on this right side of the fairway, and I'm pretty excited to get this round started. Oh, all right, we hit a tree quite a ways down there, and I think we fell straight down. That is an absolute win. Let's get started. I figured this would be a good camera angle for you guys to understand how crazy this terrain is. Even trying to stand over my Envy to putt, my ankles are at a huge angle, very difficult. I'd say we still have about 95 feet for the 2. We'll take it for the first, if you call it, putt of the day. For the 3. Hole 2, and very quickly it seems our awesome turf tee pads have left the chat. The basket is 259 feet in front of us. And for the most part, guys, I will be playing the shorts. The long is 400 feet. Your guess is as good as mine on where it is. The tee signs are not descriptive at all, and nobody really wants to spend their entire round just launching drivers blindly into the woods. I'm sure you all understand. We are gonna full send our Envy. Oh my gosh. That was abysmal. That is so far into the woods. I really struggle without tee pads, but we just need to move past that today. I think it gets more in my head, and I do shots like that. I need to move past it today. We need to play well. So you could not tell it from the tee pad, but on hole 2, as you guys saw, we yanked the Envy a little bit, and look at this terrain. I mean, I can't put into words how steep that is. That's like not ideal to walk down. The Envy's somewhere down here, so wish us luck that we find it soon. Well, after a long time of searching, here's the Envy. There's nowhere I can put the tripod down here, and we gotta throw back up there. Now, the camera never picks up like incline and decline well, but the steepness on that, like walking down here, was a train wreck. If you don't step on a stick, you're sinking in mud. This is the most punishing disc golf hole I've ever seen in my entire life. So there's nowhere I can set the camera up. I'm gonna try to just hold it, do one of these, and hopefully it works out well. Well enough. Oh my goodness. For the par. Listen, I love hiking more than the next person, but that is ridiculous. Hole 3, let's go. Hole 3, 395 feet, dead straight, throwing over the volleyball court. It does go slightly uphill at the end of the fairway, and we are gonna full send our Halo Wraith. Pretty good throw. Not a ton of confidence out here. All right, I think we got about pin high. Should be a long-ish putt. The Wraith landed in this little ditch here, leaving us a very long and tricky putt. We have this limb hanging down right in front of our face. The tree's protecting the basket. I would guess probably around 60 feet for the 2. And yep, we caught that branch. Kind of thought we were going to, but you had to go for it. I'm not here to lay up. For the 3. Like I said, I have been eyeballing this course for a while, and kind of like the Jungle and Grand, I feel like a lot of people in the West Michigan area, they just kind of eyeball this course. You know, it's like when you go to the gas station every day and you see like a drink flavor that you're really on the fringe about because it's like a weird combination. It could either be perfect or really bad, and eventually, you know, you make the jump to try that peach grape soda. That's what I finally did today. After like a year, I was like, you know what, I'll make the jump for you guys and we'll see if it's worth it or not. Hole 4, the sign says 340 feet. Now all I see is this pond with extremely tall cattails. There's no baskets over there. I think maybe it's somewhere off there tucked into the woods, but the cattails are too high to see it. I'm not scared to throw over water, but I need to at least know where I'm throwing, you know what I mean? So I think we're just gonna bounce up to the short tee pad. Hopefully we can see something from there. Hole 4, 263 feet, and after some investigation, we did find the basket, and we were right. It is tucked off into the woods up there, just enough cut out essentially for the basket, and then you have this extremely thick rough behind it, and if we hyzer out, we are in a swamp. So we have a very small, narrow runway to work with here, but we are gonna full send the Envy. All right, that was a really good throw, I think. We still ended up in the rough, but hopefully we have a putt. The Envy worked out okay, and the thing with holes like this, if you want it to be extremely punishing, have this narrow fairway, hard rough and water, like that's okay, but at least trim the trees that are just taking over the fair. Like, you gotta have some, you know, you gotta give us somewhat of a shot. We have left ourselves about 35 feet for the 2, a lot of foliage growing. I'm just gonna try to punch right through it, hopefully get ourselves a birdie. Oh, so close, so close. Hole 5, 252 feet. Now, there, you can't see the fairway. This tree is completely grown in front of it. The basket's tucked down there to the left quite a bit. Here's our tee pad. We have this big stump that's like 3 feet off of it, so you have to go with a standstill. I know you guys can't see anything, and that's often where I'm like, is this video worth making? That's what's going through my head right now, but we are gonna at least plug along for a little bit more. I'm gonna full send my Kia. All right, that could be decent, could be lost in a swamp somewhere. Let's go find out. So the Kia slid up underneath this little bridge here. Now, I couldn't see the swamp, but I could hear it. It sounded like it hit swamp. Very interesting how much you can gather from your throw just off listening to it hit whatever it hits. But we have left ourselves a long one, probably like 75 feet for the 2. Oh, good run. For the 3, hole 6, 308 feet, dead straight, kind of wide open. I think right behind the basket is that swamp. So we are gonna play it careful. We're gonna full send our crow. And a fun fact, hole 5's tee pad is about 20 feet to our left. So when you play hole 5, you go down into the woods, turn around, walk all the way back up to the tee pad to get to the next hole. I always find it rather amusing with hole design like that, but sometimes you don't have many options. Get up there. All right, that was a little short, but that's kind of what we were looking for. Maybe the water's not that close to the basket. Let's go find out. As you can see, the cattails are about 3 feet behind the basket, so I'm really glad that we played this one safe. Any of you that may not have seen last week's video but noticed the new shirt, I finally launched a website. I have a ton of used discs on there, and this is the first piece of merch, a ton of different sizes, few different options, so it's a great way to help support me if you guys want to, as well as hitting that subscribe button. Doing either one of those, I will greatly appreciate. Thank you. Hole 7, 246 feet, dead straight. We're throwing over a lot of this tall grass here. There is a little fairway they have mowed if you move up to the short tee, but from here we just kind of have to full send it. Hopefully it's not too crowded around the basket, but we are going to send our Envy. Feels perfect. All right, I think that'll work out just fine. I keep coming up quite a bit short on these for a blind playthrough. It's really hard to commit to your shots on this course, especially after seeing some of the rough. Oh, not a great putt, little rushed. Hole 8, 590 feet, and it looks like we just have a path cut through the rough here. I'm not gonna go for anything crazy here because obviously if you go left or right, it's gonna be extremely punishing. So we're gonna try to keep our wraith nice and low and just slowly make our way up the fairway. Oh boy. Oh, he didn't keep it very low. All right. It's gonna take a while to find. I just didn't commit. I didn't commit to it. I didn't throw it hard enough. Hopefully we find it quick. All right, we have found the wraith. I'm not sure if you guys can see me or not, but hopefully you can see the fairway and hopefully our next throw actually lands on it. I'm not going for any big distance. I can see the basket. It would be fun to send something up there, but the odds of us hitting that shot are slim to none right now. So I'm just gonna take my Kia, push it out wide on a hyzer. Hopefully it works out and we can attack the pin on our next shot. Why did that sound like I just landed in more rough? I mean, I can't see the fairway because this rough is so high, but I think that had to be somewhat okay, hopefully. Well guys, I hate to admit it, but the Kia is gone. We have to keep going. This is one of my longest film sessions ever, and we're only on hole 8. We have to keep her moving. I've been looking for quite a long time. I didn't think it was that bad of a throw, but like I said, I couldn't really see the fairway from where I was. It's not big, and both sides, I think the Kia maybe went a couple feet into the rough, and it's gone. So we're just gonna move on to hole 9. Hole 9, 545 feet, what I assume is dead straight. I'm not entirely sure. Looks like off to the left, we have that same rough, and off to the right, we have the side of a hill. So again, really important that we try to stick on these tight fairways here. I'm gonna try to full send a soft champion leopard. Hopefully dropping in some stability will keep us out of trouble. All right, from what I could tell, it seemed pretty decent. Let's find out. For any of you curious on hole 9, if you overturn anything, that's where you're going. I cannot, if I just soft tossed a disc down this, it'd probably go 100 feet. I mean, that incline, it's crazy. This is absolutely nuts. Our leopard just barely creeped off into the rough here. We still have 305 feet dead straight. And as you guys saw, if we do happen to overturn anything, we might as well just not even bother to try to go find it. We are gonna full send our crow. It has stability, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. Whew. I sounded a lot more confident than I was on that throw. You hit the rim of this basket on a putt, you're gonna have the worst roll away that you've ever seen. For today's hole 9 break, I wanna talk about something that I've actually brought up in the past. And the reason I want to bring it up again is I feel like it's only gotten worse, and that is the disc golf marketplace. I've been seeing a lot of posts lately in the big discussion pages of a lot of these online retailers asking people, you know, why are their sales dropping? Why are they struggling to get discs off the shelf? And I think it's rather apparent. I mean, obviously the COVID boom came in, we had a million online retailers all of a sudden start up, and it got way too saturated. The big companies, they pump them out. They pump out new discs at an insane rate of all these different, you know, limited editions, this and that. And it's surprising to me that it's still working for them. And maybe it's not. Maybe sales are dipping from manufacturers. I'm not sure, but it is rather shocking to see. I have seen a lot of people mention that they would like to buy more used discs, you know, keep the prices down, kind of fight back of all these new releases that are so highly priced. That's why on my website, it is pretty much much all used discs. The only new ones are, a few of them were actually gifts from amazing subscribers who've donated me discs to resell, and a local shop that I bought out, you know, because they went out of business, unfortunately. I'm just curious if you guys think that we're going to keep kind of teetering on this edge, or if it's going to crash in a big way, especially with the price increases. And like I said, manufacturers are not slowing down. Discraft is coming out with, they came out with the Buzzsaw, and then the Glow Buzzsaw, and then their Halloween Buzz, all within a couple weeks. All these different buzz drops. Innova drops a new disc and a new plastic, it seems like every 2 weeks. You know, this disc now in Halo with this different, and you know, MVP and the Simon line and all, there's so many new releases constantly. And I just think, like, is that maintainable? Are people gonna keep jumping on that? Or as the market just continues to saturate and saturate, is there gonna become a time when us as consumers just aren't buying new discs anymore? Absolutely hate to see it. You hate to see any business in our sport having to shut its doors, but I feel like it just kind of makes sense. Disc golf was never going to be able to support all of that and keep that boom going from COVID. So I'm just curious, what do you guys think? You know, all around, like I said about the disc, do you think more and more shops are going to be closing their doors? Let me know. Hole 10, and this is a big side armor's dream right here. We have 345 feet. It looks like it's dead straight, but then it hooks off to the right at the end. Now, you don't have room to work a backhand, you know, late turnover shot. You have to force it to the left, get that hard crash back to the right. Now, I am gonna try it with the Halo Boss. I haven't thrown a big sidearm shot in who knows how long, but we're gonna send it. I don't know. That might be really bad. Probably really bad. Well, as it turns out, the 340-foot short basket is just a hyzer. It's literally just a hyzer shot. You can't tell that from the tee pad. What we were looking at was actually the fairway for the long. So our drive is actually better for the long. So that's what we're gonna play to. Probably 150 feet, a ton of uphill to gain. I'll throw an arrow over where the short basket is, but we're far past that now. I'm just gonna go with a big spike hyzer splice shot. All right, I think that's pretty good. Splice did not turn out nearly as good as I thought, but this is a narrow fairway, and we have the biggest rollaway risk ever right here. It's super, super sharp incline on that basket, so hopefully we can just knock this down and move on. Oh, I thought that was short. My heart fell. I thought I could envision it. I was gonna hit the front of that basket, gone. See you later. Hole 13, yes, you heard me right, hole 13. We did skip 2 holes, and for the first time on the channel, that was on purpose. You play up hole 10, play up that huge hill you guys just saw me putt at, and then you turn around, walk all the way back down, and then there's 2 more. I'm good. I'm okay skipping 2 holes here. We have hole 13, 375 feet, tunnel shot downhill. I don't know if we want a left finish, a right finish. I don't know. So I'm just gonna take the NV, chuck it down there. I will say this hole is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous hole, but hopefully we can attack the pin on shot 2. That is as good as I can throw this shot with the NV. All right, see if we can find the basket. NV weaseled its way down here, leaving us a long putt, probably around 70, 75 feet. Big Annie basket's tucked behind those trees up there, so of course we're gonna send the P Waka Waka. And I wasn't even looking at that branch right there. Hit it immediately. Took all the oomph out of it. For the par. Hole 14, 335 feet. We have this fairway, it's dead straight for a while, and then it snaps uphill to the right. If you have a low burning sidearm, that's a great option. I don't have any trust in that right now, and I don't have the height to work like a late turnover with my Valkyrie. So I am just gonna take the NV, similar to the last hole, skip it up there, give the long putt a run. All right, should be fine. The Envy has actually left us in a very tough situation. I thought we bounced out into the fairway more, but we have, I don't know if this is makeable because there's a lot of limbs kind of bleeding through, and I don't have the room to get high enough to go super wide on this ante shot. Probably 80 feet uphill. It is a long one. We're gonna full send our DX Stingray. Yeah, didn't really hard ante shot to get. We should be able to knock that putt down though. For the three, hole 15, 475 feet. And as you can see, guys, I don't even know what we're looking at here. We have to do some kind of crazy spike hyzer blind. There's a maintenance person down there right in the fairway. This thing would toast him. You know what I mean? I can't see him. I just went up there to try to figure out what this fairway did. This shot's ridiculous. I think I'm done. I think I've never just called it quits on a course, but this isn't fun. I love hiking. I loved Whiskey Hills. I love Richmond Hills. I love all of the hiking, the endurance courses. I love them, but this is it's not fun. I'm not enjoying myself. It's so extreme and it's just so punishing. It's so unbelievably punishing, and I don't mind punishing courses either, but it's got to be worth it. You know what I mean? Like, just, you know, cut out through a whole bunch of rough, you know, 500 feet, just 30-foot fairway cut out in the rough. Like, you know, you have a miss throw, some wind. If you're with a group, it's all of these holes. You hyzer out and you're 150 feet down a hill. I think I'm done. Wraps up today's video at Muskegon River Bluffs in Newaygo, Michigan. And guys, I'm not going to take much of your time at all for this review. You saw a lot of it on camera, a lot of the frustrations unfold, and everything that this course has to offer. I did find it rather comical that when you get here and you step up to hole 1, it has that beautiful turf tee pad, you're all ready to go, and then after that, the tee pads immediately disappear, and you have very punishing, very demanding tee shots, and you're doing them on uneven ground as your tee pad. Like I mentioned, it takes a lot for me to just simply not enjoy myself at a course, and that is what happened here today. I cannot put it into words enough. The property here is absolutely gorgeous, but if you want to play this course, just grab your little satchel bag, grab a couple putters, maybe a mitt or two, and play the shorts. You will have a pretty fun time. You'll be able to experience the nice hike and take out a lot of the other stuff that just makes it frustrating. Any errant tee shot on pretty much any hole of this course, 1, immediately is going to send you looking for your disc, probably for a while, and 2, to scramble out of there it's also not fun. I love scramble shots, but it's so thick and the fairways are so small that it's not really worth going for them. The risk reward just isn't there. As a local and you kind of learn your misses and you've gone through this course a few times, I'm sure it's an absolute blast, and it's a lot of fun because it is very unique in a lot of different ways. But I just know if you're passing by and you're coming through here, especially if you're with a few friends, and even as soon as you get to hole 2, your tee pad's gonna be gone. You know, usually in a group, people have a couple errant tee shots and they're gone. They're so far down a hill. I cannot put into words how hard, just to get my Envy on hole 2, navigating that terrain was unbelievable. Navigating this course also is pretty difficult. There's not a ton of places that have signage unless it's the cases where you're walking down and then immediately backtracking through the hole. There are arrows on the bottom of the baskets, but especially in the beginning, I had U-disc pulled up the entire time trying to make my way to the next basket. For this course, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I do apologize if throughout the round I didn't seem, you know, as positive or a little frustrated, and a lot of times I can push them behind me just because I simply love playing the game and I love being outside. But every once in a while, there's just one that kind of gets under my skin too much. A lot of it. 2, I couldn't get you guys any good, you know, views. I couldn't get any good camera angles because everything is so congested. And that's, you know, why I'm doing all of this. So all of that just kind of mounted up. So I do apologize. Overall, I would give Muskegon River Bluffs, honestly, the score of maybe a 6 if you come here here and play the shorts. That's where I'm sitting on this course. As a local, that score is going to be much higher. But for anyone passing through, the odds of you getting irritated and frustrated are way too high. It's 99 unless you come here and just throw darts all around. Then you'll have a great time. But for me, that's where I stand on this course. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Now it's your turn to go toss some plastic.